So first, we wanna say how thankful we are to be in this event. We are part of a larger organization that is a water utility, so we consider this to be a great opportunity to present all of our solutions. And first, we just wanna say thanks to the organizers of the event. So what we're going to talk about briefly, a brief definition of what it is, because tomorrow we're going to have another talk in which we're going to go way more in depth about our each individual solution and the digitalization success story of our partner company, Global Aluminum. So what we're going to talk about today is why we believe that smart solutions is the way to go to improve the processes in the water industry. So yeah, we're going to talk about the smart solutions and the future of the water utilities. As we said, we want to thank WSSTP, which invited us to this event, and as we can see, is the media partner of the organization of this event. We consider that WSSTP has been doing from some time on an amazing work at promoting the latest innovations in water utilities, and it's really helping us to get our message across in the European market and in the influential platforms in which you can actually make a change. We consider that coming to events such as this one is particularly important because you can actually take the pulse of the industry, you can see where we're at, and most importantly, you can see where we're going. That's particularly important because we believe that innovation is essentially just a continuous flashing of ideas in which I may be going, say our company may be going for a particular point of view, but if we can experience where other companies are willing to take their innovation, then let's just say that the effort of innovation is split towards the entire industry and not just one individual partner. So yeah, and above all, we consider this is a great hub for ideas to get to know the people in the industry and get to know the real innovators in it. So we just want to say that we're very proud to be the platinum sponsors of this event. So what we're going to talk about now is about the relation that our partner company, Global Aluminum, and WSSTP have been having for a while. So just in case you may not know, our parent company, Global Aluminum, is it's one of the most important water utilities in Spain. It operates more than 400 municipalities, everything from small towns to larger cities. It's within Spain. It's operated by Global Aluminum. So this is all to say that we are an experienced group. We have more than 130 years of history. And we have all of our solutions have been tested in those areas where Global Aluminum is operating. We just want to say that as we are going to talk about more in depth in the talk that we can get tomorrow, the Global Aluminum has been moving towards a service system, and to offer that, it has been going through an important digitalization effort that we're going to go into more detail tomorrow. So yes, basically we just want to thank once again the WSSTP because it allows us to get our solutions across, which is a win for us, of course, because we can present them, but we believe that our solutions are actually a win for the entire industry. So yes, we're going to talk about now why we think that digitalization is the way to go, why we think that the future of efficient processes in the water industry has to go through a digitalization. Well, first, it's important to indicate that throughout our more than a century of history, we can see that the water industry is facing the greatest challenges it has ever faced. Those challenges are particularly tricky to deal with, as most of you may know, because they are long-standing. They are deeply ingrained in the service that we all provide, and they have become somewhat urgent. They have always been an issue to deal with, but now they're urgent, given a set of problems and the current situation in the world. We consider that the way to go about it is not necessarily to change to do something new, but to do the thing that we've been doing better. So that's why we believe that it's important to find a smarter way of doing the process that we've been doing. So it's about efficiency and not necessarily about discovering new things. And finally, we believe that efficiency needs to come from new places. It cannot merely be based on the assumptions that we've been making from some time on. What we need basically is a new type of efficiency. So what are the main challenges that the water industry is facing, as most of you may know? It's first the water waste reduction. That's probably the most urgent, the most long-standing, and the one most water utilities have shown interest in reducing. Not the least because it's directly connected to the cost of performing correctly in the industry, but also because it has an important environmental impact. We consider, of course, that leakages and an inefficient use of water are the causes of this particular problem. Then the poor state of infrastructures, like in a recent report, it was recorded that 40% of the water distribution network of the entire pipage in Spain is more than 30 years old, and that puts a huge strain on how efficiently water can be managed and how efficient those systems can actually do what they were designed to do. And finally, the third one has to do with more of a managerial need, which is a more integrated and transparent way of dealing with clients. So, as we said before, those challenges are urgent, but what's the reason behind it? Because those challenges have been there, but for a very long time, and now they are the main objectives of most of the companies that deal with them. Well, we believe that climate change has been particularly influential in making us realize how much of a scarce resource water can really be. Again, in a recent report, it was forecasted that in less than 10 years, 35% of the world will face severe water shortages, and we all know the problems that will entail. Not the least because water is just necessary for life, but it's directly connected to the economic performance of a country and an increase in potentially deadly diseases. And again, as we said, the aging and damaged distribution networks, as time passes in the kind of assets that our companies are dealing with, they generally say, like, the distribution network or the water treatment plants get more and more damaged, and they just perform poorly because that's the way. And a problem that hasn't been dealt with affects the industry. And finally, all throughout the world, not just in the water industry, but it has been presented a consumer-centric shift in the client-supplier dynamic. That is, the clients now, through the advent of social media, through the advent of the internet and the communication technologies, they have been gaining more and more strength regarding how they want to receive their services. So it's important to address that need. It's important to be transparent with the clients. It's important to inform about how the process is being, how the service is being delivered, and not just delivering a good service. So we believe that those problems can all be addressed with the term smart solutions, which would bring forth a new type of efficiency. But since we live in an age in which many of these terms are overused, such as big data or the algorithms lying behind it, artificial intelligence, all of those are terms that have been overused. We consider that it's important to give at least our definition of what smart solution is. Well, we believe that it can be defined in two ways. Like, it can be defined as simply as doing, it's a new and improved way of doing an old thing. But going back to the point that we don't believe that the processes that we've been following have been necessarily wrong. We just believe that they can be improved, and hence we can do better. Or it can be an improvement in the efficiency with which a process is conducted. Once again, go back to the core variable, that is the efficiency with which the process is conducted. And what do we mean when we say a new type of efficiency? Well, first, it's important to indicate that this type of efficiency is happening now because we believe that prior to the advent of the rise of big data, the rise of IoT technologies and sensorization, it could not have happened. All the improvement that we can do now is essentially tied to the information that we can receive. That the processes are no longer closed systems. They can perform better because we can see through them. We can see how they operate. So yes, we believe that any efficiency that deals with the water industry needs to be essentially process focused. It cannot, even if for example we offer a set of solutions that it covers the entire water supply effort, but they're all process focused. That's why we have so many, because we want each process to be improved to its peak efficiency, and not simply developing general solutions that we just say absorb the data and just keep it there. Because that's the problem with having a non-specified solution, that it's not specified. Then it has to be innovative. Any point of inefficiency needs to be it needs to break down how the things were done before, in order to bring forth a new idea of how things should be done. And finally, it needs to be data-driven. We are way past the age of opinions. We're way past the age of experts, we believe, because now data is the true oracle. It's the indicator of how things are done. And as we were saying, the rise of new technologies has allowed us to actually access that data and be constantly informed and efficiently informed about that. So finally, we're gonna just refer as to how our solutions factor into this. We're not gonna go too deep into each individual solutions because we're gonna talk about them tomorrow. But the way our solutions factor into this is, as we were saying, our parent company, Global Omnium, has more than 100 years of history, more than 130. So the solutions that we've developed have come from the needs that we've experienced in dealing with the water distribution industry for over that time. So we again believe that it's based on experience. Our idea that smart solutions should deal with should deal with doing things that we know are the right way to go, only better, instead of just changing everything, which is something that many companies may feel tempted towards because big data platforms have been such a big thing. We have proven, and we keep constantly proving with our different clients and within Global Omnium itself, that we are capable of bringing this new efficiency. We are capable of improving processes on a granular level, and in a way that they can be improved regardless of the market in which the industry is operating. And yeah, finally, we wanted to say that our solutions that are here are essentially product focused. That is, each individual solutions deal with a specific problem that the water industry may face. For example, beyond our system integrator, which is Nexus Integra, we have solutions which cover everything from digital twin creation, which itself gathers data and reproduces all the data in real time over a digitalized version of the system, of the distribution or water treatment system. Then we have EARS, which is our water efficiency platform, which through algorithms, through the algorithmic engine running in the background, and the information about the water getting inside and outside of a sector, we can calculate with a high degree of accuracy the possibility of leakages to occur and fraud situations to happen. Then we have Theresis, which is our metering smart solution, which is essentially takes information from all the water consumption meters placed in our clients' households, and we can calculate them through the algorithmic engine running behind the solution. We can calculate the possibility of internal leakages. We can calculate we can take the information about the consumption of our clients and guess what kind of consumer we're dealing with, which is itself a crucial information, especially for the billing department and for the client management department, because they get a whole picture about the client just based on their consumption. Then we have Glacier, which deals with the entire commercial water cycle, which everything from recording to billing to debt managing, and it deals with it streamlines a process that most of you may know sometimes tends to drag in the industry, which is recording the expenditure, capitalizing on it, and then charging for it to the client. And finally, our last solution, which is called Impact, deals with the energy efficiency of the processes that require an irregular input of energy. It takes the points when that energy is needed within the system, and then through a constant monitoring of the energy prices, the algorithmic engine running in the background chooses the point in which the efficiency of consumption it's the best. So at this point, we just want to say that we're very excited to be here and to answer all of your questions in the following event, and that we're going to be right here. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Yeah, great. We have like 20 minutes for questions, even more, 24 if we want. If not, we can get a bit more time for this gig working. So please, is anyone willing to make a question, make some comments? Not sure if we need the microphone.
Try to show it. Dave Oakley from United Utilities, UK Water Company. It's interesting to see some of the stuff we are sort of looking at all them areas ourselves. But I was interested in you said we moved from the age of experts and opinions to the age of data. I'm not sure we fully have yet, but in moving to data can be really useful but also quite dangerous. So how have you tackled the expertise required to understand the data science? Because we see that there's not a lot of experts out there or the right caliber of people coming through to give us that kind of data analytics and data science capacity we need.
That's absolutely true. It is a big problem about what kind of profile we'll have to deal with that data. It's almost as important as whether that data can be captured correctly, and that is true. And when we say that we're removed from the age of experts, it's not literal. Of course, you still need experts to deal with that data. The point is, we're removed from the age of opinions of experts. Of course, the data that is gathered needs to be treated and needs to be analyzed by an expert. That's necessary. But what we've been capitalizing on, because especially we're actively aware of what you said. Like, finding the right data scientist profile, it's not an easy task, especially when solutions are developed so rapidly that they need like the need for the data scientist becomes tied to the execution of what the platform needs to do. What we've been doing, however, is dealing with the quality of data. That is, we've made sure that in the data gathering processes, there are filters that would make sure that the data that we receive is not just the noise of the system, but the actual information that we need to deal with. And then, again, part of our value proposition is on the fact that we simplify the information to turn it into essentially business intelligence that almost anyone within the industry would be able to understand. Of course, not everyone within the industry, but the people who need to make the decisions, the big decisions, and the operators needs the access to and needs a way to understand it.
Good rain from the Axis. Thank you for the presentation. One of your comments was you more shifting.
Can you hear them
towards-
at the back? No?
Sorry,
Okay.
then I need microphones.
Yeah, I'll go and ask someone to be here with the microphone to answer questions.
Thank you.
Yes, good rain from the Axis. In your presentation, you mentioned you're moving towards more customer-centric. So, what would be the value of your end customers in providing, getting all the data, smart data? What's actually the value of it?
Well, okay, thank you. First, we're moving, as you said, towards a consumer-centric offer in services. But no, it's not just us. We firmly believe that the entire market is just shifting towards customer service. But yes, that's a really good question. So what do our clients get from us getting all the data? Well, for one, for example, in our Glacier platform, we offer our clients a real-time information about their consumption that essentially translated into full transparency as to how we record their water consumption and how we record the water consumption, and they can in case they want to control the water expenditure, they have all the information that they need, so that's a direct gain for the customer. Then we could just say that we offer better service. Once we are informed about how things have done, the service that we offer is best, because we don't offer generic solutions. We offer the solution that the client may need based on, say, for example, the profiles that our metering solution informs us. Once we know who the client is, we can offer a better solution to him. And finally, I would say that among most of our solutions, the final point is offering the client a specific solution, and a solution that works for him, that works for her. If it's a larger industry, we want to offer what they need and not just another contract. And for all of that, it is required to gather information, because efficiency needs information in that sense. Yeah. Thank you.
Giorgio Borni, Water Technologies. I have actually two questions. The first is, what's your business model? And the second one is, we're talking here about digital innovation, right? Smart technology, artificial intelligence. On the other hand, you said the challenge is aging systems, 30 years old networks and older. How do you bridge this gap? You can put the best system on an inefficient system, it will not improve. So how is that linked?
Well, first, our business model. We offer an entire solution. We offer our value proposition itself It covers everything from the sensorization of the system to gathering the data through our system integrator to its future exploitation as business intelligence. But yes, what you were referring to, the inefficient system, it's not the system that is inefficient. It's the distribution network that is old. And yes, that's all to say that like it's still important to be aware of how an old system is operating, even if it's not operating at its peak efficiency. It's perhaps even more important to be aware of first that it has inefficiencies and where those inefficiencies are. And I don't believe that when you are applying an efficient system or an inefficient system, it cannot work. I think that's the point when you need an efficient system. To be aware of where the inefficiencies are, because again, a system that is not sensorized, a system that is not that is not gathering information, it's still a closed system, and a closed system will remain inefficient forever, and even more so in this kind of industry that is so complicated to pinpoint exactly where the problem is. So I don't know if I answered your question, but.
So yes, but you will bring more examples tomorrow, right?
Yeah, we will get into in depth into each solution. Okay. So hope we can help that.
Thank you. Alali from Hydro Expert. I just would like to ask, from the solutions you mentioned, I think, for example, you say things are just moving so much towards customer, just customer-oriented business solutions. Now, when you say, for example, let's take the technology with Glacier, and you collect information about customer consumption behavior and so on. How would you just translate that? For me, for example, what would interest me is that how would I interpret so that I can just benefit the neighbors or whoever are using, for example, for the one who is using too much water, and how I would just translate that in terms of water pricing, just sort of things, not only just to improve efficiency, but there's the question of pricing, water pricing. There's a thing like that, technology can deal with that as well. It's just somehow related to water allocation, in fact, or distribution based on the volume of water consumption that we get from consumption data as well.
Yeah. I don't know if I fully understand what you're asking. Are you asking like how would water pricing be like factor into the information of consumption? Once the information about consumption is gathered, how would the billing be done? Like how would the pricing behind the consumption be inferred? Is that your question?
Yeah, it's like just sort of penalty or reward based on the volume of water.
Oh, so okay, so well. First, without a direct monitoring of consumption, you cannot either penalize or reward because you cannot know like how much it's being spent. But the way we are we talking about dynamic pricing in this? Okay, yeah. So the way Glacier works is it would take the information about the billing in each individual sector of the water distribution network, and then yes, like in the algorithmic engine, there can be like rules about dynamic pricing can be integrated. As a matter of fact, they are currently in like some of the municipalities that are operated by Global Omnium. And in one of our biggest clients in Ecuador, dynamic pricing it's a thing because they are currently involved in a water management commitment. I think at I think it's in Ecuador. They are engaged in a Southern American summit of improving the water expenditure. So yes, dynamic pricing is one of the penalties that are integrated in those systems. Yeah.
Hi, one on your solutions. How integrated are the actual solutions with each other? So, for example, I'm looking at them and I'm seeing sort of national infrastructure asset data with real-time operational data, with customer data and billing and debt data and energy. So, do the different solution platforms share the data and do they use it? And if so, what constraints? I mean, the legacy question is a constraint, particularly in the operational side, but the cybersecurity issues that are coming up now, how has that affected the integration of the different solutions?
Sorry, the security issue?
The cybersecurity.
Yeah. So I think all of those questions, like we're gonna refer to them more specifically tomorrow. Yeah. So, but yes, the integrator takes all the data and then spreads it through the different solutions. And what you were saying about the legacy system is a problem. I understand where you're coming from, but part of our development effort was to make sure that Nexus, which is the integrator, the system integrator, could take information from most legacy systems, because to this day we're so certain about the fact that, like, if a company, if one of our potential clients were to have a system integrator of their own or a legacy system, they don't want to get rid of it. They just, if anything, they want to improve it, and that's why we consider that it's so important for our system to, as you said, connect to the different legacy systems. Yeah.
Can I just ask a quick follow-up? You mentioned clients and customers.
Sorry?
Clients and customers. So when you mention clients then, is that like a water company as a client?
Yeah, sorry, yes, I would say utility that we sell those solutions to. That's what I meant. Yeah.
Hello, it's Paul Glass from Anglian Water in England. You mentioned clients in your talk, and I think you meant the end customer, domestic customers who use water. And I was wondering what your feeling was